It's actually scary. Penguins. This is awesome.
Today I want to show you something that will undoubtedly scare you. Have you trembling in fear, wetting your britches? And no, it's not a picture of
Bridges.
me without a beard, but it is
Okay.
something equally as
Very
terrifying.
scary too.
AI! AI
Good one.
technology is advancing at a rapid rate and it's reaching levels only thought
It's the
possible in
AI.
science fiction. That experience you just had of your heart sinking from my masterclass in jump scares is the natural reaction
That's
to
very good.
AI. It's showcased that the flesh is cringe and machines of the future. Pretty much anything humans can do, technology can do better. AI can do better, rather, and that includes entertainment. I have been glued to AI and the entire industry that's bloomed from it for years now. I have been like a moth to a flame following each and every
What?
development and new AI product that's come out because it is fascinating
Using
and at the
AI.
same time a bit startling. Now, I think it's naive for people to write off all AI as evil and saying we should ban AI outright and never pursue it. I
Mm,
think that is such a
yeah.
dogshit way of looking at the technology. As with every new innovation, there is good and bad that comes with it. It's some certified goofy goober
Even
goofball
AI
shit to just write off
for
all of the
advancement.
good things AI can do for humanity and focus instead on only the bad things they can do. I'm not here to get into the nitty gritty of like the pros and cons of AI. I feel like you should be able to immediately recognize some of the incredible things AI can offer, especially in the medical field. But again, that's not what today's topic is. Today, I want to show you and talk about a viral clip on Twitter that's going around that has to deal with AI in the music industry.
You might notice that I sound like Kanye West. No, Yeezy didn't record a voiceover for me for this video. I didn't learn how to do impressions. This is AI.
So let me come back to my original voice for a second
Japan.
because this is crazy.
The caption of this video says that it'll change the music industry forever, and that's 100% accurate. This technology
Okay.
will forever change the entire landscape of the music
You
industry.
can change the
It's
music.
important to realize that AI
Voice.
technology, especially when it comes to voice models like this, are still very new. And they're already advancing to a point where they're starting to get pretty goddamn convincing. And right now, the main usage is just shit posts like having Joe Biden and Donald Trump
Okay.
playing Overwatch together and experiencing
This
gamer
is
rage and shit,
Penguinz.
or making goofy AI generated tracks. But this technology has huge implications for the whole industry going forward when it comes to music. And it's already advancing very quickly. I made a brief mention of my own AI voice that's been getting used on YouTube pretty often about like 3 months ago, where they had me singing Rap God. And I was like, damn, that sounds pretty
Voice
good, but you can
AI.
easily tell that it's AI at some points because words get all mumbled and jumbled. It sounds like I'm overdosing on Xanax sometimes. Like, it's clear that it's not perfect, but it can and most likely will be in a relatively short period of time. So in this example with his Yay voice filter, you can tell that something's a bit awry there. It doesn't really sound 100% accurate.
Yeah.
It
So
sounds a bit glitchy, like something's wrong there. So you can tell it's not actually Ye speaking. And he also goes 10 seconds without mentioning Jewish people, so you know
okay.
for sure it's not
Good
actually
one.
Ye. But if you're just hearing that, you'd be raising an eyebrow. Like you would have to second guess, like, oh, whoa, was that actually Ye?
Now all you have to do is record reference vocals and replace it with a trained model of any musician you like, which is exactly what I did. I found this Kanye style beat on YouTube. I wrote 8 bars and I'm gonna record them now, and then I'm gonna have AI Kanye replace me.
So before showing you the results of that, I would like to mention that he did covers of popular songs with this Kanye voice model, and they sound very convincing. Even knowing it's AI, it is pretty fucking convincing. Now, how this affects the music industry should be obvious, and he explains it there. You don't really need the artist to come in and do full songs anymore, and they don't even have to write the music themselves or perform it. They can just give you reference vocals, and right now there's services where if you just have a minute of uninterrupted audio from anyone, it can make and train a pretty decent AI model on it that sounds pretty good. Now imagine that extended to a professional level where holy shit, it's going to sound very close to the real artist. That's alarming. You'll never know if the music you're hearing was actually created by humans or just AI. AI is actually extremely good at creating songs themselves. there's entire channels dedicated to just AI generated music, and it can do pretty much every genre. And that even includes like metal. There's actually some pretty fucking hardcore AI generated metal tracks out there right now. So for the music industry, you could have AI make all of the songs and only rely on reference vocals. So you wouldn't even need to like pay an artist to perform or make an album. You would just pay an artist to come into the studio one time, or maybe even a handful of times if you really want like a perfect model, to record these reference audio samples, and then they would just use that forever to make full albums based on that. And that artist would never actually make the songs themselves. They'd just kind of be the face of it. Meanwhile, AI is doing all of it. And not to sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but I really do think this will end up being the reality of the music industry in the future, because it'll just end up being cheaper, like more financially viable for these major labels. Instead of hiring like bands or artists to make the music and perform it, they'll just save money by having AI do all of it and then just using the voice models they've trained. Because as this technology continues to develop, it's going to be easier to use and cheaper as well. So that's just my bold prediction here.
I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted, but I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. What was I thinking? That was some bitch shit. I lost Adidas, but I'm still Yeezy. Back in the kitchen, man, I'm a genius. Boys in the hood, just like I'm easy. Kanye, Wheezy, Southside of Chicago, life ain't easy. All praise be to Lord Jesus, Donda, please rest easy.
I got a fantasy that's beautiful, that's dark and twisted, but I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. What was I thinking? That was some bitch shit. I lost Adidas, but I'm still Yeezy. Back in the kitchen, man, I'm a genius. Boys in the hood, just like I'm easy. Kanye, Wheezy, Southside of Chicago, life ain't easy. All praise be to Lord Jesus, Donda, please rest easy. Alright, let me cut it there.
Pretty spooky stuff, and I think it's understandable. A lot of people on Twitter were pretty unsettled by it. And I also agree with quite a few people on Twitter that pointed out that it's pretty diabolical to put a bar about Ye's deceased mother in here and then have AI Ye rap it for you. I think that's pretty weird. But it does lead me to something else I'd like to briefly mention, even though it's not directly related to the AI in the music industry per se. It is just AI voice models in general. I've talked about this a lot, but going forward, as these continue to become better and better, you can have these AI models say anything. So pretty soon, when you hear like audio recordings that are leaked of politicians or movie stars or something, you're gonna have to take all of that with a grain of salt, because pretty soon all of that's going to be very easily faked. I actually made a video showcasing some AI voice models for Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example, where he was talking about Ahsoka's orange pussy and how she was one of the finest meat Jedis, meat saber wielder Jedis in the entire temple and stuff like that. Like, it'd be very easy to just have these AI models say anything to try and get people in trouble or try and start shit online. Like, it could go easily beyond shit posting, where it's just like jokes, to a point where you can really kind of fuck someone.
And keep in mind, this is the worst that AI will ever be. In just a few years, basically every popular musician will have multiple trained models of them, and also the UI, the front end of this, is all going to get a lot simpler.
Again, he's 100% right. We are currently in the worst stage AI will ever be. It's only going to get better, and significantly better. It's already getting huge steps forward every couple of months. It just gets more and more mind-blowing what AI is capable of.
You're going to be listening to songs by your favorite artists that are completely indistinguishable. You're not going to know whether it's them or not. And I'm just starting to think of all the good, all the bad that's going to come out of this. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, so drop those below.
Oh, I'll let you know what I think, all right. I'll give you a piece of my mind, and it won't be a comment. It's a whole video. I think there's not a lot of good that comes from the AI voice models in the music industry in particular. I don't see many positives. Now, I know there's people that will probably try and spin an argument that it's great because now you can have deceased artists still releasing new tracks thanks to the AI technology. So, for example, Michael Jackson already has a few AI voice models that are pretty good. So you could release new Michael Jackson tracks. But I would argue that's not a good thing. Like, that to me is kind of fucked up. He's dead. He can't consent to having new tracks come out post-mortem here. It just feels so creepy and disgusting. like fucking his corpse like a necrophiliac for the sake of making money off of new tracks from his name. It doesn't feel right. The artist is gone, and the music they made should rest with them. That's the music they poured their heart and soul in. They made that with their own blood, sweat, and tears. And to dig them up with these voice models and have them releasing tracks that they had no part in making is just, I think, wrong. I don't think that's a good thing. To me, I just really feel like that ruins and belittles all of the hard work they put into their career before they died. It just kind of dismantles the whole legacy, because then there's new tracks coming out that they didn't make and they might be shit. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of that. Let me give you another example, one that pertains very personal to me. Linkin Park. I love Hybrid Theory and I love Meteora. Chester Bennington has passed away, unfortunately, and I would be extremely upset if they started to use AI voice models in order to have Chester Bennington deliver vocals on new Linkin Park tracks that start coming out. They have recently released 2 new tracks, but those are tracks that were actually recorded by Chester himself. So those tracks still have the very human element to it that I can appreciate. So if they, 5 years from now start releasing new Linkin Park tracks with Chester Bennington doing the vocals, I wouldn't like that. I really would feel like that spit in the face of all of the incredible work that he had done throughout his career. So I don't see that as a benefit, and that's like the only argument I could see people making for a good thing that can come from the AI voice models in the music industry. Everything else I think is just negatives. You'll have significantly less people entering the industry because they have to compete with all of these mega corporations that are just churning out these massive mainstream hits that are all generated through these AI voice models, from the most popular artists of all time. It'd be very difficult to compete, and most people aren't going to get signed to a label because it'd just be cheaper to use AI in the first place. So I just don't see a whole lot of benefits to the music industry for this kind of AI implementation. Now, that's not to say that I think it should be banned. I'm never really on the side of banning things, especially when it comes to stifling potential innovations. Maybe I'm just a little short-sighted in potential benefits that this technology could have. Like maybe if the artist themselves wants to start using the AI voice models to help complement their work, or even, weave it in with their own, personality inserted into it, I could see that maybe working. But again, I just don't exactly know. But overall, I don't think it should be banned, but I also don't think it offers anything super beneficial to the music industry as a listener of the music. I only see the financial benefits to the companies, which I don't really give a fuck about the companies. My heart's not breaking for Universal Music, who has billions of dollars to spend and now just can cut corners using AI technology to fuck their artists even harder. I just don't see a lot of great things with it. But I do want to highlight the technology itself, because holy shit, I cannot believe how quickly all of it is advancing. This AI technology is unreal, and I can't even imagine where it's going to be in the next couple of years. So just wanted to talk about it a little bit again, and that's really about it. See ya.